What's up? It's Susie from Hey Grill Hey, and today I'm conducting the great steak experiment. I am cooking a beautiful beef fillet to 5 different Donnesses. We're gonna cover temperature, we're gonna cover cooking techniques, and at the very end, I will eat a bite of a well-done steak, much to my personal chagrin. Let's do it. So we're just doing a beautiful little steak experiment for my own knowledge, but I also think it'll be really helpful to you to see all the different Donnesses on a steak, the different temperature points, and kind of make some of your own decisions about what type of steak you prefer to eat. Now I have a guess that you already have a strong preference. I already told you I'm a medium rare girl, so let me know in the comments, how do you take your steak when you order it at a restaurant? I love seeing the wide variety of preferences, even among people that love to eat barbecue and love to eat beef. So I'm gonna season these tenderloin steaks on both sides with my beef rub seasoning. It's a fantastic all-purpose seasoning. You can grab this in my store just below the video. The beef rub is one of my most used seasonings because it's great on beef, but it's also an awesome like all-purpose style seasoning. So I'm gonna hit each side liberally, and then we're gonna talk about the cooking process. Steaks are seasoned. Let's talk about the cooking process. I'm going to be utilizing a reverse sear. And a reverse sear is where you start at a low temperature to begin cooking your steaks and finish with a really high temperature sear at the end. The low temperature cooking process means that our steaks come up in temperature slowly. That slow rise in temperature will make sure that I don't overcook any of my steaks, but it'll also be giving them a really nice smoky flavor because I'm going to be doing the low temperature part of this cook in my smoker. I've got it at 200 degrees, which is a little lower than I normally do a reverse sear, but I really want to get some smoky flavor on them, and I want to make sure that I don't overshoot the temperature. So let's get these on the smoker, close the lid, and talk a little bit about time. Steaks are on. Let's talk a little bit about temperature and doneness, because that's a really important part of this experiment, is making sure that each of our steaks are coming off the grill at the exact right time to hit the doneness that we're looking for. So when I reverse sear, I typically pull my steaks off about 10 to 15 degrees before I hit my target temperature. With these ones, I'm gonna shoot for 15. I'd rather them be a little bit on the edge of under their perfect doneness than over. So 15 degrees before their final finished temperature is when I'll be pulling the steaks off and letting them rest. Now I have a cool little temperature guide magnet that goes out to my Grill Squad members. When they join the Grill Squad, I send a welcome box with an apron and a whole thing. But this cool magnet that you can stick on your fridge comes in that box as well, and it has my beef temperature guide in there. So for a rare steak, I usually like those to finish around 125. So I'll be pulling my first steak off when it hits 110 degrees, which gives me that 15-degree temperature variation that I'm looking for. Medium rare 135, I'll be pulling it off at 120. The medium steak 145, I'll be pulling that one off at 130. There's a tighter window between medium and medium well. Medium well, I typically pull around 150. So that guy's gonna come off at 135. And for my well done, which it still like hurts me to know that I'm cooking one of these steaks well done, but it's for it's for science, it's for a good cause. At 160, I'll be pulling that one off at 145, and I'm just gonna take them off the smoker. When they hit their target temperature, let them rest, and I'm gonna sear them all at once so we can get our cross section, our beautiful finished steaks, all side by side at the same time. Now, it typically takes me about an hour to get my steak up to temperature for a medium rare steak. These are very thick and my temperature is a little bit lower, so I'll probably be looking more about an hour and 15 to an hour and a half before I'm pulling my first steak off the smoker. Okay, first steak is at 110. This is gonna be my rare steak. So this guy's coming off. Some of the smaller ones are creeping up into that 115, 120 range. So we'll keep an eye on that. As soon as the next one hits 120, it's time to come off for my medium rare. I'm keeping them on my plate in order. I've got my rare, my medium rare, and so on and so forth, so I know which one's which. All right, my next steak is at 130, which is what I'm shooting for my medium steak. Now, the 2 smaller ones I'm leaving on for my medium well and my well done because, well, they're smaller, and if I don't end up liking the medium well or well done ones, I'll feel bad about, I won't have to feel as bad because there's less of them. got my medium well. My well done one just probably needs like a couple of more minutes. We're so close, and then it'll be time to sear. Thanks, Brandon. I got distracted.
There you go.
Beautiful. Let's sear some steaks. I've got the Sidekick on my grill, which has a really high BTU output for propane, which means I can get a screaming hot cast iron skillet, roaring temperature on here. If you don't have a propane grill to give you that high temperature sear, you can do this inside. You can do this under a broiler. You can do this on a really, really, really high temperature grill. Whatever the case may be, what we're going for is golden brown, delicious, crispy, crunchy edges on the outside of our steaks and a beautiful finished temperature that matches each of the donenesses that we're going for. I'm gonna spray my pan with a high heat cooking oil. Like avocado oil is my personal favorite. You can use any like non-flavored vegetable oil. It's not going to flavor the outside of the steak necessarily. It's gonna give us that beautiful, crispy, crunchy brown, which is flavor. My biggest challenge is gonna be remembering which one is which. So which steak is which. So I'm gonna try and put them in order so I'll remember. Well done. Medium well. Medium. Medium rare. And rare. It's amazing how different these steaks even just feel picking them up off the plate. Steaks are all seared and ready to come off. These look beautiful. They smell even better. Oh, I'm just keeping them in order from well done to rare. But hopefully when we slice into these, we'll have a perfect cross section so we can see each one. Now I'm just gonna let them rest for just a couple of minutes. They did a lot of resting in between the smoking and the searing, so they don't need very long. I'm gonna go grab my knife and then we can start cutting these open and looking at the inside. I'm gonna start by cutting into the well done steak. I already knew that the well done and the medium well were gonna be the smaller steaks anyway, but it is significant how much shrinkage that we have compared to the other steaks with how much it has reduced in size as it cooks. So I'm interested to see what this looks like on the inside. If I'm being honest, I am actually a little bit worried that I undercooked these ones. It's like against my nature to go all the way well done, but I did my best. We'll see what they look like inside. No, that's a well done steak. Yep, we did it. Whoop. Well done meaning it's gray all the way throughout. There's no pink in the center and it's warm to the touch all the way through the middle of that steak.
Looks like brisket.
That is a well done steak. I mean, we do have a good little smoke ring on there. Okay, next up, medium well. Ooh, I feel good about this one too. So medium well, it still looks like it's cooked all the way through, but there's just a hint of this kind of pink juiciness happening. The meat itself isn't necessarily pink. If it is, it's just the faintest blush, but it's still retaining quite a bit of moisture. I'm actually pretty surprised at how juicy that medium well steak looks. Okay, let's roll into medium. Oh, that felt so nice to cut. I actually kind of had to work at it for the other two. Okay, we've got a medium steak. You can see some pink in the center, but it's not a dark pink. It certainly doesn't look raw by any means. Very juicy, very tender. We're getting to the point of the steaks that I think I would actually eat this medium fillet and not be too sad about it. Okay, let's jump into medium rare. This is my go-to steak order. We should have pink all the way through. Should feel very, very buttery soft. This looks like a perfect medium rare. This edge-to-edge pink is glorious. And then last but not least, the rare. Now this might be too under for a lot of people. This is gonna be fully red in the center. But it's so juicy. I'm not sad about any of these ones. And the actual center of this steak feels not cold to the touch, but it's certainly not hot. This is like, almost feels a little bit like room temperature in the middle here. Look at this side by side. That is a pretty awesome steak experiment, if I do say so myself. My mouth is watering. It's all the way watering. So I personally, just by looking at these, would be happy with anything in the rare to medium range. All of them felt really buttery and beautiful when I cut into them. I mean, this medium well, it felt a little bit tougher, but I could see the juiciness in the steak as I was cutting it. The one I'm honestly the most concerned about is this well done steak, especially with a filet that's not very fatty. It'll be interesting to see how we feel about it. So that means it's time for a taste test. I gotta take a bite of this well done steak because this is the one that I said I just really did not have a large interest in eating. But I want to know, because I've heard people claim, especially on my Facebook page, people say all the time, you can have a really delicious well done steak if it's cooked correctly. And I think the most correct way to cook a steak, if you are going to take it to a higher temperature, would have to be the reverse here. So if any well done steak is going to win me over, it'd probably be this one. I mean, I'm still chewing. Listen, the flavor is good, okay? It's beef rub, it's smoky. The flavor itself is fantastical. The texture is not bad. I mean, it's a filet, so it's gonna be tender regardless. But the moisture level, y'all are eating steaks like this? Like, you really are? I mean, if you come to my house and you want a well done steak, I will cook you a well done steak and it will taste so good. But I will serve it to you with a very tall glass of water because this is kind of dry. It just is. But I guess if you're a steak sauce person, that's fine. Well done steak people. I might not understand you, but that doesn't mean that I don't love and respect you. Like I said, if you come to my house, I will cook you a steak according to your doneness. But otherwise, it's medium rare all day. Before I take this massive bite and ruin my ability to talk for the rest of the video, I want you to know, how do you take your steak at home? And if you are a well done person, how do you cook it so that it stays juicy? What's your well done steak secret? For the rest of us, we'll be down here in the happy quadrant of, steak doneness. See you next time. I mean, it is just so substantially better. Like, offensively better. That's so good.